walking, yoga, meditation, 100 different things help you with that. You can call it intent. I call it helps you to stay in the now. Right. If you are 100% in the now, whatever you are walking, drinking tea, painting, doing any sort of hobby work, if you are able to be 100% in the now, you have probably hardly any symptoms. But what is going on here? So I found a slide where I do the best to show you what's going on. And it goes like this. My theory is that we are mammals. We are stuck in our instincts. And if we are there too many hours and days and maybe even years and decades, some symptoms, some signal from the body get too strong, and we get what we call symptoms. So if we are caught in our instincts, fight, flight, and freeze, we have huge symptoms, and it's regardless of what symptom it is. Parkinson's symptoms, a tremor, a stiffness, headache, something, they are big, and our emotions are not that big. But if we are out of fight, flight, and freeze, and are in a calm state, it's the last day or second last day on your holidays, surrounded by nice family or good friends in next to a lake and in the sunset, you have hardly any symptoms. So all day long, your body is going up and down this scale. So what happens when you walk with an intention, with you are being mindful, you drag yourself down if you succeed in the calm state. Right. And then Larry said that if he take medicine, it helps him to drag himself out of in the calm state. And why is that? Has any one of you joined my page so long that you know the answer on that?
The parasympathetic state of the nervous system.
Yeah, and that's part of the. Because I'm a biologist, I have a tendency to make my explanation in the animal behavior. So my explanation goes like this. Do you know the body's stress hormones?
Adrenaline
and cortisol. And you guys, when you eat dopamine, it's in the form of L-dopa because it can go into the brain. And then it's converted to dopamine. And what happens next? When it's degraded, it becomes noradrenaline and adrenaline. And adrenaline, it's you being in fight, flight, or freeze, dependent on how much adrenaline you have. So here comes the problem. If you eat dopamine, you are in this state. What is dopamine state? It's the alert state. If you have seen the meerkats in the desert, it's, hey, what's going on here? Is it food? Is it an enemy? Is it good or is it bad? It's dopamine. It's this feeling of you kickstart some new energy here. And that's fine. There's a lot of movement in that, because you are ready to run after food or to run away. But the problem is that it degrades to adrenaline, and adrenaline is you stuck in fight, flight, and freeze. And then you are pushed, your body is pushed to the state where I showed you the other, where you have lots of symptoms and cannot feel what's going on in your body.
Yep.
So that's why you can move when you eat dopamine, and why you cannot move a little later. So it takes 3-4 hours before dopamine is converted, and you have no dopamine left, but it's converted to adrenaline.
Right. This is interesting. So maybe I'm giving too much.
In Denmark, we call it, I don't know if other languages have got that saying, that it's peeing in your pants to keep warm.
Right. Yeah, I like it.
So you make a loop here, you get able to move and do nice things, and then 3-4 hours later, you are back even worse.
Yep.
So you loop here every 4 hours. And actually, there's a Danish scientist that have stated that you are not in lack of dopamine. What is the problem is that you convert it too fast to adrenaline.
Right. Interesting.
So it's like, the chicken and the eggs. How do you look at things? But this is a biological explanation that dopamine is the start of the fight, flight, and freeze cycle. And from here, and you probably know that, some calm day where there's nothing going on, dopamine do its job and everything is good. And some days when you are visiting a cafe and seeing new people, it doesn't work very long time. And that's because you get nervous and the dopamine is converted to adrenaline in seconds. The half-life of dopamine is something like 2 minutes.
Right.
So if you look at one dopamine molecule, after 2 minutes, there's 50% chance that it's converted to something else.
So maybe I'm giving too much value or too much weight to what I said earlier about taking the medication and then waiting. The truth is that I may be waiting to get into a calm state.
You are waiting for dopamine to do its job, and that's fine.
Yes, but from a calm state, as opposed to...
It's not the calm state, it's the dopamine state.
Right.
And dopamine is this, what's next? What's up?
Right.
And it's nice feeling. It's you being sort of ecstatic. Hey, what's going on here?
Right.
But then dependent on you, your past, your trauma, your body memories, your body decides, should we keep him in the dopamine state? Should we kick him into the adrenaline state?
Right.
Is it fight? Is it flight? Is it freeze?
Right.
When I wake up, I sometimes feel really good. I can walk. I feel happy. I'm going out. The dopamine from the night is still there, and then after a minute it's gone. Then the thing starts.
Yeah, and this can you know it from animals. Some deer is walking in the field and grassing, and then it hear a sound. What was that? It's dopamine, and then depending on what it sees, what it hears, it either go back to grassing or it start running away. The only thing I'm doing is acknowledge that we are mammals with full-blown instincts.
That makes sense to me. Sure.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That I haven't met anyone who didn't say, yeah, of course it's like that. It's just dependent on your situation. What are your body's favorite I make these exclamation mark, your favorite defense in life. Are you the fearful flight, running type? Are you the fighter? Or are you the one that frees?
Yeah.
And why it becomes like that, it's a long story. That's one of my clients who were beaten next to a sort of cupboard, and she has kept that in her whole life. And every time she comes next to this, she has, I don't know, 30 seconds where she cannot walk. And she didn't understand it, but we digged into this again and again and again and find out it was this cupboard related to a violent boyfriend at a time.
Right. Interesting. Why is it, I mean, you may not be able to answer this very quickly, but why is it that I can get up in the morning and go for my run, 10 Ks, and then an hour later have a shower, an hour later can't walk down my driveway to retrieve my mail. I've got freezing and I've got a dragging leg. But 2 hours before I'm on the road and nobody would ever think I've got Parkinson's.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Yeah. So if I was having coaching with you, I would start saying it's fantastic that you can run miles in the morning, show you there's nothing wrong with you. But somewhere in the process, from you came home, took the bath, and were going out again, somewhere your mind switched and put you into fight, flight, and freeze. Why? Right. It could be, I would ask, where are you heading? So in the first part of the morning, you are yourself. There's no obligation. There's no demand for you, how fast you should be or how long you should be. Yeah. But when you go out again, you are going to meet some people, going on the job. I don't know. So something with that appointment is not working so good with you. Right. It's your job. Your boss is putting big pressure on you. It's a person you haven't met before. Right. It's a new hobby set up where you're meeting new people and afraid what would they think and what when they see my tremor. So I would guess it was something like that. Interesting. And here we are into micro thoughts. It can be one fearful thought because you have maybe for decades, can we say, carved a path in your mind. So when I'm going to meet new people, I don't want them to see my tremor, or I don't want to see me stiffen up. So this can come in a second, this thought. And it's this thought that push you back into your instincts again. And you start having the tremor, or you start to stiffen up, or whatever.
Excellent. I can walk for a couple of kilometers and I come home. But when I put the key in the door, I'm frozen. I'm locked all around town. When I get home, it just stops.
Yeah. So let me just say that before Larry, he was going out again, meeting someone. So there was some triggers there. What will they think when they see me having tremor? When you are walking in your house, I don't know what happened, but maybe you once fell down and hurt yourself somewhere in your house. And then your body say, oh, every time I'm in this position in the house, or heading towards the toilet or something, then it gets dangerous. I can tell you a few examples. There was a woman who she was maybe our age or a little older, and one of her children died. So she has been depressed for 2 years due to a children that died. And in these 2 years, she didn't clean up a lot inside her house. So her bedroom was being cluttered. Boxes and, you know, a small room, a bed on one side, and washing what's called laundry and boxes. And then I asked her, she couldn't understand that she had Parkinson. She had got the medication, she wouldn't eat it. I say, what? She said, the only place I have the problem is when I walk from my living room to my bedroom. I say, okay, what's going on when you step over the the pass, the step to the bedroom? And then she said, I see all the things I should have cleaned up a long time ago, and I'm afraid of falling because there's hardly any floor left. Okay, problem solved. Go do and clean up the mess so there's nothing at the floor. So her body, she's been vulnerable for some years, and her body decided this was dangerous. You would fall if you go into this. So that was one. Another guy, he had he said, I'm always get frozen next to this a vase, a huge, beautiful vase he had in his living room. Say, what happened here? Yeah, once I fell over this vase. Okay. And he also has problems between kitchen and the dining table. He always got stuck in the middle here, and then asked, what's going on here? Oh, I get afraid that I will fall with my hands full of warm things. So you get into a bad, a vicious circle. So you have once tried, oh, I burned my fingers, I nearly fell here. And then next time, oh, maybe I'll fall here. And it gets worse and worse. So you, by having this way of thinking, it's when you are heading from the kitchen to the table with something warm in your hands, then there's a bigger risk of falling. And you, can you see it, you having the tendency to freeze, then it's correct. There's a bigger chance that you will freeze, but you sort of spiral in, so it gets completely bad.
It's all completely unconscious in other way of it.
Yeah, it's unconscious. It's your instincts. It's you must think that your brain is living in the dark. Your brain cannot see. Your brain cannot smell or taste or hear. Your brain is the computer that is getting all the signals from your eyes, from your nose, from your mouth, from your skin, from your ears. So a shadow, a sound, it's make the brain, wait, is this something wrong here? And you get a small adrenaline kick. Is it, should I be afraid here? Oh, it was just the wind and the branch in the storm or something like that. So your brain is calculating all the time. He has something hot in his hands. He's and the eyes are telling he's in the kitchen and he's heading towards that. He has something warm. It's not good. But when you get mindful, when you drag your attention to here and now, you can help yourself and drag yourself out of it. It's not easy, but it's doable. You can, so the trip from the kitchen to the dining room table, you can say, okay, I maybe rehearse with something cold in my hand or nothing in my hands. And then take deep breath, take a small step, stay here until you can feel your corn. Take a small step. That is what you can say exposure therapy. You do what is dangerous, but you do it slowly, mindful, here and now. So what John Pepper is telling you is that it helps you to drag out yourself out from the fight, flight, and freeze, and in Danish we call it into or down to your body. With deep breath, so there's no danger here. It is just my kitchen and my dining room's table, and I'm having something in my hands. But no danger, no war, no tigers.
Great.
Okay, good. Yeah.
But that's not what I do. That's what John Pepper do, and a lot of other people out there. What I do, it's investigating, like I've been telling you, what's going on here. And we find the first time you had the problem, the first time you should present for new friends that you have Parkinson, the first time you got afraid of your tremor or whatever the problem is. And I solved that via therapy. And then it's gone forever, but you can have Malik maybe have 10, 20, 100 places in the room, in his home where he's stiffened up. So depending on the nature, it can, what's triggering it, is it something hot in the hands? We can cure all the situation about that, but then there could be another situation going from inside to outside, going on the toilet, where maybe you peed yourself because you were too slow. Then there's some embarrassment and a lot of things going on. But to take these step after step, to take situation after situation and solve that.
Makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Great.
So everyone that have experienced that their symptoms go up and down, or with the freeze, it's now I'm locked, now I'm not, now I'm locked, now I'm not. Everyone that has experienced it can understand that there's no coincidence here. It's, do I feel safe? Did I get scared? Did I get angry? It can be all sort of emotion that push you out in fight, flight, and freeze. And maybe Larry, it could also be excitement. Now I'm going to see new people. But what if they see my tremor or see my stiffness? So it can become all sort of emotion that where your body to say it's too much for him right now. I push him into a safe place here. And the safe place for human, we don't understand, because you wanted to go to this appointment, but your body saying, no, it's safer for you to be at home.
Could you get the same, just to go onto that point further, Lilian, could you get the same because of the excitement? In other words, I freeze not because I'm anxious, I freeze because it's a new thing and I'm not sure of it, but I'm excited about that. Right.
Of course.
Right.
That's a reason, I guess, that there's a lot more men than women in Parkinson. So there are a lot of, you call them achievers, people in high ranking companies that have built up some expertise, they are hardworking people, and they like their job. They like being out there, but this excitement can be too much as well.
Right.
I feel when I get, I hate to be late. I want to be in time and play, but I always am late.
Regardless if you like to be late or you like to be in due time, it's a pattern in your brain. I'm one of these that always come 20 minutes before time. And if you challenge your own rule, you can be stressed. Oh, today I was only 5 minutes before time. And being late, they come with some other things. With your background, your family's expectations and beliefs, and how do we take in life and the challenges in life, your school, were you bullied or not, your relationship, your job. You are unique. There's two people with Parkinson can have two completely different lives and life stories.
Well, that was terrific. I'm glad that I managed to hear and connect with you both. Well, I think that's great. I don't have any more questions. I learned a lot, so thank you, Lilian. I appreciate your time, and Malek, good to meet you. I wish you the best.